Hey, what is up everyone? Tyler Ramsbey back with another video. Sorry, it has been a while. I managed to get a really fun cold, so I had no voice. My voice is finally back, and I'm excited to be back here on YouTube making some more videos. And hey, in this video, we are going to do some hacking. We are going to go on TryHackMe, and we are going to hack the Bounty Hacker box. And let me just show you guys what I got pulled up. So I got my Kali Linux machine. We are on. We are connected to the TryHackMe VPN. And here's the box or computer we're going to take down today. The title is Bounty Hacker. It says, you were boasting on and on about your elite hacking skills in the bar, and a few bounty hunters decided they'd take you up on your claims because, you know, that happens every day. Prove your status as more than just a few glasses at the bar. I sense bell, peppers, and beef in your future. So we are going to prove that we have apparently elite hacker skills. So we can see if we have elite hacker skills. I already launched the box, so we have the IP here. And I'm just going to guide you guys through like my process of when I am attacking a box. So the first thing I do, just to make things a little bit, if I could type a little bit easier for me, is I always throw it in my Etsy host file. So we'll just call this bounty.thm. And, you know, I should have had the IP. Did I copy the IP? I don't know if I did. Nope, I didn't. So let's jump back here. Let's snag that IP and let's get that here. There. So instead of typing the IP every time, we can just type bounty.thm. So if you do CTFs, there's my little trick for you. Put in your Etsy host file. It makes it easier. Let's just test it. And it looks like it is good to go. So any type of CTF, anything you do, step number one is nmap. If you're new to hacking, look it up. Nmap is what you always begin with. It maps out the different ports on the machine you're hacking and shows you some possible attack vectors. Now, Nmap has a lot of scripts you can run that can take some time. Most CTFs have ports in what are known as the most common ports. And so if you just run a regular Nmap scan, you can usually get an initial foothold. So let's just begin with that. We'll do nmap, we'll do bounty.thm.v for verbose, just because I like to see it as it scans. Let's see what it finds. Okay, so we got port 80, port 22, port 21. If you study networking, you should know port 80 is, we got a bunch of weird ports. Interesting. Okay, well, we got port 20, that's FTP. Port 21 is also FTP. Port 22 is going to be SSH, so maybe if we can get credentials, we can go to SSH to dive into stuff. Port 80 is HTTP, and looks like we have FTP secure, and then a bunch of random ports. Interesting. Well, let's just focus on these top ports right here. So we got 20, 21, 22, 80, 990. Then what I do once I know like the main ports, I'll do a more in-depth scan. So I'll do nmap, and I'm going to do -p for specific ports. So we want 20, 21, 22, 80, and 990. Then -A, that means throw all the scripts at it for enumeration. Bounty and verbose again. Let's see if that works. And it is. And while that does its thing, just because I've done enough CTFs, anytime port 21 is open for FTP, I always try that. The first thing that I would normally try is see if you can log in anonymous. Interesting. All right, let's just open a new tab. Go to root. And let's just try to FTP into the box. And so, once again, a good trick is see if you can not log in as anonymous. So we'll use anonymous as the name, and we are in. Now, FTP is File Transfer Protocol. It's kind of command line. Well, it is command line. So you can do like ls to list files. Okay, sometimes it bugs out. So let me show you how to fix this. If you're ever doing a CTF and you're trying to do FTP, sometimes it does this weird entry in extended passive mode. I'll just show you how to fix that real quick. So let's log back in. So this should do it automatically, but every once in a while you have to type in passive. And now I bet it will work. Yep, so now it works. And so if we do ls, I always try to do ls-la to see if there's anything hidden. And there is not. So it looks like we have two files, logs.txt and task.txt. And I'll show you guys kind of a trick that you can do. Generally, you can't look at FTP files without first downloading them to your computer. But if you're doing Like, for example, TryHackMe has King of the Hill, which is like a hacking competition. So you have to do things super fast. So if you're trying to do it super fast, one thing they can do is get the file name and then a dash. And, oh, failed to open file. Usually that will open. Let's try it on task. Let's do get task.txt. Okay, so it worked on there. So the task.txt says, task 1, protect vicious, which maybe that is a user account, I'm not sure. Plan for red eye pickup on the moon, no idea. But it says Lynn. Well, isn't that interesting? Lynn is a name, so that could be an account that we could possibly get access to. In the meantime, I'm just going to jump back to here to see if our scan's done. So it is. We have, also it says right there, anonymous login allowed. We have SSH. We have port 80, which is some type of web server. So if you can't get anything on FTP, maybe we'll try that. And what I always do is I always take notes. So if you're ever doing a CTF, a big thing that's important is take notes, take screenshots. So I'm just going to grab the main bulk of what we have here, just in case we need to come down to it. I use OneNote for all my notes, and we'll just paste in there, make it a little bit smaller. So we have the nmap scan in case we want to refer back to it. All right, let's jump back to FTP. So we have this person named Lynn. So that's interesting. That's probably going to be a user's name. So I want to keep that in mind. Let's just see if we can get these files. So let's get logs.txt. And it worked. And let's get task.txt. Okay, I don't think we need FTP anymore. Let's make a directory for bounty. And we have our logs.txt. So let's move logs.txt and task.txt. And let's move it to bounty. Oh, maybe if I knew how to do commands, that would be a good starting point. And let's jump to bounty. Okay, we got them. So let's see what they are. We already saw task, if you remember, right? It was just that weird task. And I think the flag, so to speak, right here is Lynn. That's probably a user's account. Let's look at logs.txt. Okay, I'm going to guess. I think you can probably guess with me. What do those look like? Passwords. They look like passwords to me. So if we go back to our file, if we look at our nmap scan, we have FTP and we have possibly found a username, Lynn, in a list of possible passwords. And if we remember, SSH is open. So here's kind of the first thing that I want to try. Let's see if we can brute force SSH. We'll use Lynn as the username and we'll use that password list as our passwords. So we can keep it as logs.txt. Let's go ahead and open up MSF console, which is going to be Metasploit. Let's just rename our session as Metasploit. And while it's doing this brute forcing thing, maybe we'll jump over it and look at the web server to see if there's anything interesting about the web server that's also on here. So let's just search SSH log, see if we can find the login. There we go. So 16. Use 16 options. Let's set pass file to home, Cali, bounty. Was it locks.txt, I think. Hopefully that works. Set our host to bounty.thm. Port 22 is fine. Set username to Lynn. Let's see it while it does it. So let's set verbose to true as well. And let's see options again. Make sure we got everything. I think so. Let's run. And so what this is going to do is it's going to try the username Lynn. You'll notice this with every possible password in that file. So it's just going to run through those over and over again to see if we can get something successful. And in the meantime, let's just see what is on this web server. Oops. Okay. So Spike, oh, look, you're finally up. It's about time. 30 more minutes and you were going out with the garbage. Now you told Spike here not to hack into the computer in the system. We let Ed do it, but we need to work in something else, blah, blah. So here's what I see. Obviously, it's a more playful way, but I see more usernames. So maybe if Lynn doesn't work, we can try these ones. Spike, Jet, Ed, and Faye, I bet are possible usernames. Let's see if there's anything in robots.txt. There is not. And then, oh, look at that. I was going to say the next thing I would do is Derby, which checks all the directories on the web server. But if you notice, it would appear we have a login. So let's go ahead and take a screenshot of that beast and throw it in our OneNote. And then we'll see if we can use that login as our initial attack vector to get onto this machine. So we'll just type SSH creds. All right, let's minimize that. And let's just, for the sake of ease, let's go ahead and just copy this. And now, let's see if we can SSH as Lynn into bounty.thm. Yes. And let's try that password. Boom. We got cat user.txt. There is our first flag. So let's go ahead and copy that. We'll jump to TryHackMe. Oh, there's a bunch of questions we're supposed to be doing. Well, let's see if we can answer these real quick. So we got user.txt. We deployed the machine. We found the open ports. Who wrote the task list? That was Lynn. What service can you brute force? SSH. What is the user's password? I just had that. Let's go to OneNote. I'm just going to pull this to my second monitor, even though you guys can't see it, just so I can type in that password. It was Red Dragon Syndicate. Boom. Okay. Next step is let's get root. So let's rename this, and we'll just call this SSH because we got an SSH shell. And there's a few steps of enumeration. Once you get initial access on a box, there's really three things that I do. First, I check sudo. So that means, does this user, can it do anything as root? So that's sudo-l. The next thing I check is there any suid bit set? Which, if you're new to Linux, it just means, can this user perform root access on anything? Because sometimes you can use that as an initial attack vector to get root. The third thing I test is what is called capabilities. Honestly, don't know enough about capabilities for what they're actually used for. I just know how to exploit them. And fourth is I check cron tab. Is there any process that runs every minute or every 10 minutes or every hour that I can use to get root access? That's my manual enumeration. If I can't get anything with that, I'll run linpiece, which scans the system to see is there any password stored and gives you a little better hint. But I always like to do manual enumeration first, just because honestly it's quicker. So let's first just see if our user Lynn can do anything as root. Oh, that's right. We need that password. Let's just go ahead and copy it from here because I'm going to get sick of typing that password over and over again. Okay, user may run the following commands on Bounty Hacker. So this is probably going to be our initial attack vector because we can run that. And then what I always do is I go to GTFO bins, and this kind of helps with privilege escalation. We'll type sudo, and whoops, what was it? tar. It can run tar. So let's just search for that. Oh, it's searching it there. Let's see. My scroll never works good when I'm in my VM. I don't know why. There we go. So let's go down to where it says sudo. Okay, sudo. If the binary is allowed to run a super user, which it is, it does not drop the elevated privileges and may be used to access the file system, escalate, or maintain privilege access. All right, so all you need to do is you copy this beast. We'll want to go to where sudo is, which is bin. So we'll go to cd bin, and then let's paste that command in. So what it's doing is it's running as super user, and then it's trying to spawn a shell, and it should maintain privileges. So let's see what happens. Let's see, who am I? And we are root. So let's go to the root folder, ls cat root.txt. Here's our final flag, and it looks like we have, as they would say, elite hacking skills. So there it is, my friends. We just broke Bounty Hunter. We are boasting on and on about our elite hacking skills, and our elite hacking skills turned out to be the real thing. So hey, hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed this box with me, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.